And welcome back to our continued coverage of TIA 2015 Network of the Future Conference. Joining us now is Fred Jens. He's the president and CEO of ILS Technology. That's a Tenant company. And joining him is Paul Wellman. He's the Chief Information Officer of Tenant Company. And Paul and Fred, welcome to the program.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Paul, it's great to meet you. Fred, of course, we've done this before. We just came off TIA 2015's IoT launch. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but I want to talk in a more general sense about IoT and find out, from your perspective, are we still in the vision phase of IoT, or are we in the reality phase?
A good question. I think a lot of customers ask, where are we? I think at this point in time, it's very safe to say that we're right smack dab in the reality phase. The vision point of this, in terms of is it possible, what might I do, or can I do it, is over. Certainly it can be done. The ecosystem is matured, the technology is matured. As a matter of fact, the ILS and Tenant integration is a great statement of that. One place to go to get modules, to connect your assets, interconnection with our carrier relationships and the over-the-top services with the DeviceWise solution is a statement that companies can worry about their business problems, not necessarily will the technology work. So I think we are in the reality phase, and it's time to start executing.
Paul, before we get into your role with TIA's IoT launch today, I want to ask Fred just one more question about the IoT ecosystem and its ever-expansion, particularly with the role of network operators. What position are they in right now in that space?
So I do believe that the network operators do sit in a very, very strategic role. When you're going to connect the thing, it's the Internet of Things, but as you're thinking of connecting things, one of the first things you think about is the method of connectivity, and if it's cellular, you're immediately going to go to your operator, and you're going to say, hey, how do I do this? Now, what that means is they have a great reach to the funnel, or to the marketplace. They have a great relationship with the enterprise customer base. They're used to charging as a service, which IoT is typically transacted at. And finally, they have the bearer plane. They have the pipes to make it work. So relationship, business model, and technology is really what they bring to the table. Now wrapper that with a mature ecosystem of platform providers like ILS, system integrators, hardware suppliers, like Tenant in the module side, or companies like Dell and Multitech. There's a variety of folks that are building asset gateways. Cisco's in this space. So the ecosystem's mature, the routes to market are more and more known, and the operators are really in the middle of all that.
Paul, I want to know about Tenant's role in the IoT space, but before then, I want to find out just a little bit about the company.
Sure. Tenant is a world leader in the industrial and commercial floor cleaning equipment space. We've had an interest in Internet of Things technology to help our fleet customers manage their assets more effectively. And we think empowering data to those customers, leveraging this technology will cause them to lower their cost of cleaning and create a unique value proposition from Tenant's perspective.
Now, what was the primary driver to add remote connectivity to your industrial cleaning equipment?
It really was about helping customers manage their assets more effectively, both from the customer value proposition side, but also internally. Our field service organization, our engineering organization can also get great value from that machine data and can make our products better, safer, and higher quality.
Certainly a lot of challenges from the POC to deployment phase, and actually even before the POC phase, in deploying and in installing these remote connectivity modules and devices in your equipment. Tell me about some of those challenges.
Yeah, the two great functional challenges Tenant had were really on the engineering and R&D side, as well as the global marketing side. Engineering and R&D was about building the ability to collect data from the control systems of a machine and communicate that data effectively in all the different environments we have Tenant machines. On the marketing side, it was how do you create value from the information from machines and offer that in a way customers are willing to pay for and get their own value propositions from.
Fred, I want to get to 2 points here. It's interesting that you brought in an industrial cleaning equipment enterprise customer into your, I got that out, into your IoT lunch today. I want to find out why you did that and what role do you play in bringing these guys into the IoT ecosystem?
So I think the reason we did it is really two reasons. One, Everybody thinks about IoT, at least from an operator point of view, as the big markets, right? Everybody talks about telematics for vehicles. Everybody talks about medical devices, et cetera. IoT is for every vertical. There's really not a vertical that's not affected, and bringing in Tenant, which is kind of a niche space, right? Cleaning machines, but it's a big global market, and they're a leader in it, where they have hundreds of thousands of machines globally. And if they can derive customer value, intimacy, et cetera, with this kind of a technology and transform their business with a kind of a data component, then it can be done for many businesses. So I think it's a great example. That's the reason primary. The second piece is they're a great example of the power of Telit in terms of our triple play. Now, triple play is something we talk about all the time in the old days, but triple play now, I'm talking about the ability to instrument an asset with our Telit modules, the ability to interconnect that asset with our relationships with the M&Os through our MVNO offering, as well as over-the-top services, and enable partners like SAP to drive value for the customer. So it's a great use case for us because they use all three components of our technology in their solution, and it's a great use case for the industry to see that it's not just the mega markets that use IoT.
Certainly, Telit products are a huge value add to the enterprise community. What advice would you give to enterprises viewing this video right now that want to get into the IoT space?
There's no good reason not to start. It's not about the technology. I would tell the enterprise customers, focus on the business advantage you can build by reaching out and getting information that maybe you never thought was possible before. And if you can build business value, predominantly making money through incremental services, saving money and costs through operations and logistics, or maybe it's just around staying compliant, some legal compliance or industry compliance. Those are the business drivers. Let the ecosystem, the operators, Telit, ILS, our partners, worry about the how.
Paul, as I mentioned before, you were a speaker at the TIA 2015 IoT launch sponsored by ILS Technology, a Telit company. What was your experience at that launch?
I found the group to be very receptive to practical business use cases of the Internet of Things technology, and seeing how customers like Tenant Company are using this technology and trying to create new business models to drive value.
Well, Paul, it was great to meet you. We appreciate your time. And Fred, as always, it's always great to talk to you. And we're going to be going to an evening event tonight, and it'd be great to have you there as well. So,
yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time. And for all of TIA Now's coverage of TIA 2015 Network of the Future, please log on to tianow.org. So long.